Hi, I'm Nadia Ismail. I'm a certified mindset and travel coach, and I help people who feel stuck, misaligned, or like they've lost their spark reconnect with themselves through mindset tools and the transformational power of changing their environment, whether that's through travel, self-reflection, or simply just shifting their everyday space. Most of us aren't really living, we're just going through the motions. Same room, same routine, same conversation, same thoughts. We wake up already on autopilot, carrying yesterday into today. And even when we're desperate for change, we try to create it in the very same place that made us feel stuck in the first place. No wonder it doesn't work. And the reason I know this pattern so well is because I've lived it. On the outside, everything looked fine. I had the good job. I was independent, working from home, doing what many would say or call the dream setup. But inside, I just felt numb, disconnected from everything, including myself. Most mornings I'd wake up crying, and I didn't even know why. It was just there, this heaviness that made everything feel harder than it should. At the time I was working in marketing for a coaching company that specialised in helping people get their energy right. On paper it looked perfect, flexibility, freedom, a creative role with purpose. But in reality, I hardly left my bedroom. I spent my days marketing transformation for others while feeling completely out of touch with my own. In early 2024, I finally left for Peru, a trip I planned months before, but didn't realise how much I needed it by the time I arrived. It wasn't a dramatic escape or a sudden decision. I didn't quit my life, I kept on working remotely. But stepping onto that plane, it did something to me, and it was like stepping into a new chapter, one I didn't know was waiting for me. I'd been craving space for months without realising it. Space to breathe, space to think, space to finally hear myself again. I remember landing in Cusco, and for the first time in months, I could breathe. Researchers at Wharton call this the fresh start effect. Those moments when a new chapter or milestone gives us psychological permission to reset. They found that people were more motivated to take positive action right after these moments. It could be a birthday, a new year, even a Monday. For me, that fresh start was about stepping into an environment that allowed me to begin again. And that's really what travel does. It reconnects us to the present moment. It pulls us out of routine, helps us see ourselves with new eyes, and reminds us of who we are when we're fully here. And there's actually science behind why that shift feels so powerful. Our brains love repetition. They have a network, the default mode network, that's brilliant for reflection and imagination, but it also traps us in loops. We replay old thoughts, past regrets, imagine worries. So when your surroundings never change, your thoughts rarely do either. But novelty, a new view, a new rhythm, a new language interrupts that loop. It sparks dopamine, the brain's motivation chemical. It jolts you back into the present moment, and suddenly you feel alive, maybe for the first time in years. As travellers, we know this truth instinctively. That moment you land somewhere new, before you've even unpacked, something opens inside you. Your senses sharpen, you see the world and yourself differently. A few days after arriving in Cusco, I started the 4-day Inca Trail to Machu Picchu. The altitude, the stillness, the landscapes that made you feel tiny and infinite all at once, just magical. And somewhere along that trail, something shifted. I can't even tell you what moment it was, but the noise in my head finally quietened, and for the first time in a long time, I just felt present. Environmental psychologists Stephen and Rachel Kaplan call this the attention restoration theory, where nature restores our mental energy by engaging us in what they call soft fascination. So the way we watch clouds, waves, or leaves move without effort. That effortless focus lets our deeper mind recharge, and our stress hormones will drop as a result. I know it sounds cliche to say travel changed me, but it really did. It wasn't just a holiday, it was the start of everything shifting. That journey gave me the clarity and the courage to completely change my life and career, and to start living in a way that finally felt true to me. That trip was one of many that taught me how powerfully our surroundings shape the way we think and feel. It's something I see again and again now through my coaching. How a simple change of environment can open up entirely new awareness. One of my clients, for instance, was using a tool I'd given her to keep track and score of her mood each day and noting what influenced it. After a few weeks, she saw a pattern. The days she'd gone for a walk outdoors, surrounded by trees or sky, were always her highest scoring. So no big trip, no retreat, just movement, sunlight and space. We often think transformation only happens when we go somewhere far away, but sometimes it's as simple as stepping outside. That's what the biophilia hypothesis shows us, that humans are wired to connect with nature. And when we do, our nervous system calms, our moods lift, and our perspective widens. So whether it's a rainforest in Peru or a quiet path near home, every environment has the power to shift something inside you if you meet it with awareness. Stillness has its magic, but so does energy. And not all transformation happens in silence. I still remember walking through the streets of Cartagena in Colombia. The heat, the colours, the music, the vibrancy, all of this aliveness just pouring out of every doorway. It was fantastic. It wasn't calm, but it was alive. And something about that energy lit me up. I felt awake, engaged, part of life again. Everywhere I turned, there was rhythm and laughter, that kind of effortless joy that pulls you in. And it reminded me that stillness restores, but energy reignites. Research in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology found that exposure to multicultural environments boosts creativity and problem solving. So when we immerse ourselves in new cultures, our minds expand, we start to see more possibilities. Cartagena reminded me that we don't always need quiet to heal. Sometimes we need colour, chaos and connection. And that's the beauty of travel. Every place teaches you something different. Some help you slow down, others wake you up, but both bring you back to yourself. If I could go back to that version of me, the one sitting in her bedroom wondering what was wrong, I'd tell her what I tell my clients now. There's nothing wrong with you, you're just out of alignment. We live in a world that glorifies the grind. Do more, fix more, prove more. But real clarity doesn't come from force, it comes from space. Because when we finally stop chasing and start listening, something inside you wakes up. That's what changing your environment gives you. The chance to stop, to reset and to choose differently. So if you're feeling foggy, restless or unsure what's next, here are a few ways to begin. Change your scenery, even slightly. Work from a new cafe. Walk a different path. Sit somewhere you've never sat before. Habits are tied to place. So shift the place and you shift the pattern. Ask better questions. Not what should I do, but what am I tolerating? What have I outgrown? What would I choose if I trusted myself? Move your body. Walk, stretch, dance, move through space because movement creates momentum. And journal like a traveller. Take your notebook somewhere near a balcony, a park, a cafe, and let your words wander as freely as you do. Ask yourself, what is this place teaching me? What am I ready to leave behind here? What am I discovering about myself right now? You don't need perfect sentences, just presence. To make that change last, it's not about staying in motion forever, it's about bringing what you discovered back into your everyday life. Design your surroundings to support who you're becoming. Anchor small habits to moments rather than places. So maybe journaling each morning, or going for a walk or jog at the same time of day, or creating a grounding ritual before you start work. Keep refreshing your environment with small doses of novelty. A new cafe, a different route, a weekend in nature. And don't forget to plan regular resets. Moments that reconnect you with that wider sense of perspective, whether that's travel, stillness, or simply time away from screens. And whenever you can, take an intention set trip. a holiday chosen not to just escape your life, but to reconnect with yourself. And approach it like a reset. Choose the place, set the purpose, and come home changed in some small but meaningful way. As author James Clear says, your environment is the invisible hand that shapes human behaviour. So design it to support the life you want, not the one you've outgrown. I didn't find clarity all at once. It came in moments. In the quiet of the Andes, in the laughter of Cartagena, in the courage to begin again. Travel didn't give me a new life, but it helped me to see my life differently. It showed me that transformation isn't about running away. It's about returning to yourself, to your truth, to what really matters to you. And that's the gift of changing your environment. It wakes you up to what's been there all along. It helps you hear that voice beneath all of the noise, the one that says you're ready now. You don't have to cross continents to find it. Sometimes it's a walk, it's a pause, it's a choice to see your surroundings with new eyes, because every shift in view holds the chance for a shift within. But if travel has been calling you, listen. If you've been dreaming of that trip for years, take it. Learn to meditate in India, immerse yourself in a new language, hike through mountains that humble you, or swim in oceans that remind you how vast life really is. Get lost in a culture that expands your perspective. Build confidence, build friendships, rebuild yourself. Just stop putting that dream trip off, or start small. A day in nature, a solo weekend, a single step that reminds you who you are when you're not on autopilot. Because sometimes all it takes is a change in view to change the voice inside. And that single shift can lead you home to the life that's been waiting for you all along.